Loneliness is something that most of us will feel at some point. Not necessarily that overwhelming feeling that breaks us open, but those quieter moments. Those moments when we suddenly realize how separate we feel, even if the world around us is busy and full. And what's fascinating is that so many spiritual traditions point to the fact that these moments are not flaws or failures, they are invitations. Alan Watts put it beautifully when he said, "There is much evidence to show that for anyone who passes through the barrier of loneliness, the sense of individual isolation bursts into the all feeling of identity with the universe." So maybe those subtle moments of aloneness aren't telling us that something is missing, but that something deeper is waiting to be found. Loneliness isn't simply about being alone. You can feel lonely when you're at a crowded party or with your family, or even when you're talking and smiling and laughing. That's because loneliness isn't the absence of people, it's the absence of a connection with your own being. Ramana Maharshi expressed this really clearly when he said, "Solitude is in the mind. A man might be in the thick of the world and still be in solitude. Another may stay in a forest and still be unable to control his mind." In other words, solitude is not a location, it is an inner condition, and it can't be cured by having more people around. It can be cured by discovering who you really are when you still the mind. A few years ago, I went on a silent retreat. There were 50 people. I was sharing a bedroom with 6 other people. We ate our meals together, but there was no talking, there was no interaction, there was no phones, there was no reading, and honestly, it was really hard. I definitely wasn't alone. There were lots of people around me all the time, but I think I felt isolated, and that was emphasized because I was surrounded by people that I couldn't interact with. And that led to me having a very busy mind. I was constantly thinking and being distracted by thought, and that is what made it difficult. Then sometime later, I spent 5 days alone in the woods. Just me in this cabin, off-grid, had no mains electricity, no Wi-Fi, no phone signal, just me and my thoughts, and this stray cat who visited me every day, which was nice. And strangely, that felt easier. Yes, I did have the distraction of being able to read and to go for walks in this beautiful scenery, but I just felt that this solitude seemed more natural. It seemed like I wasn't separated, but I was returning to a more familiar place. When we feel lonely, what is actually happening? Usually it's because we are resisting the present moment. We are imagining how things should be, or we're remembering how things used to be, or worrying about how things might turn out in the future. We're essentially resisting how things are. Loneliness is the mind longing for the world to be different, and solitude, real solitude, is the mind resting in what is. And when we fully allow the experience of loneliness, we don't run from it, we just accept it as it is, then that experience starts to soften. And then we begin to feel what Alan Watts described. The sense of walls between us and everything else start to dissolve away, and we start to feel a connection with something greater. It doesn't feel like losing yourself, it feels like gaining the entire world. And there's another interesting thing that happens when we're alone without distractions. We stop seeing ourselves from the third person perspective, because we don't have to worry about how other people are seeing us. Then the narrator in our head quietens down, and we stop playing this performance, and we start living from the first person perspective. So pure experience, awareness of what is going on around us. Just sensations and breath and awareness of the present moment. This boundless awareness, always here, always open, and never lonely. Loneliness is just a story being told within awareness. And awareness itself is completely whole. This is why solitude is so central in so many spiritual traditions. Not because being alone in itself is good, but because solitude helps us to see the illusion of separation. Ramana said, A detached man is always in solitude, wherever he may be. Meaning, you find this sense of solitude inside yourself and you carry it with you wherever you go. The deepest non-dual teaching tells us that loneliness is not a barrier to awakening. It is awakening calling us home. That ache of isolation is your own being trying to get your attention, trying to pull you back in. And when loneliness breaks open, what's left is intimacy with the whole of reality. So if you're feeling lonely, instead of trying to escape it, you might try turning inward. Let it show you what's beneath the surface. Let it show you the silence that's always been there. And let it show you that solitude doesn't depend on circumstances. Because on the other side of loneliness is the realization that you have never been alone, not even for a moment. If the mystery of awakening interests you, then watch this video next.